I don't know where to start. I'm just so happy right now. And it's still sinking in. I imagine what it is like for the players and when it is going to sink in. They're partying tonight. Michigan just won their first national title since 1989. And Dusty May did it in year 2. Michigan, the year before he took over, had only 8 wins. What a turnaround. What a season. What a gem Dusty May is. I hope he is not leaving after this. We saw North Carolina hire their coach already, so he's not going there. He's repeatedly said that he loves Michigan and what they have and the resources and he just won a national title here. Why would he leave other than to go to the NBA? Knock on wood. But he's great. But it was the players for Michigan all season, and it was the players that made me pick Michigan to win the Big Ten and go to the tournament and be a heavy favorite preseason. I never picked a preseason winner, but I said Michigan was the best. And they proved me right all season long with 3 losses. They lost by 3 to Wisconsin at home in the first loss. And Wisconsin made 15 threes. But if Namari Burnett would have hit one of those threes he had down the stretch, it would have been tied and Michigan would have won in overtime. I kid you not. In the second game, they lost to Duke. And it was in Washington, D.C., Duke's backyard. Lost by 5, bad officiating, we'll get to that. And then their third loss was in the Big Ten tournament, championship game versus Purdue, where, it sucks that they didn't win that one because they cut down the nets and every other thing, didn't they? Didn't they? They won the damn whole thing in the tournament, so let's not get too down on that performance. But it was Purdue, and they were a really great team, made it to the Elite 8, lost to Arizona, who we beat by a lot. This game should have been by a lot, too. Michigan had 6 blocks versus Connecticut in this one, and was 25 of 28 from the free throw line. I applaud that. I was saying all season that they got to get better at that, and they did. They did. They were missing 5 or 6 or 10 free throws in the beginning of the season in some of those games. And I said, that's going to catch up to you. You got to get better. Practice it individually. They must have. Except Roddy Gale missed 2 down the stretch. But, hey, I don't want to point anybody out. Roddy Gale played admirably. The former Ohio State transfer. Michigan also beat Connecticut overall field goal percentage, 38% to 31%. So both were terrible. This was a low-scoring game as Michigan won 69 to 63. And, Michigan should have dominated this one by 20 or more at least. We'll get to that because the officiating kept Connecticut in this one. Michigan was that dominant in this game. Just nothing was being called. But we'll get to that. Yaxel had 13 points, only 2 rebounds, and he was 0 for 5 from 3 with his injured knee, ankle, what have you. I begged him to stop shooting threes at one point, and he did. He did finally. Found a way to the free throw line where he made 4 out of 4. Johnson had 12 points. Morez Johnson Jr. in from Illinois from last year. They caused the team of transfers, but you know what? They all came together under Dusty May. Dusty May figured out what they needed. And they all got better. They developed. They got better at shooting, rebounding, all of it. And it's not a team of transfers because Gale was here last year. And McKinney is a freshman that Dusty May brought in. 4 freshmen, 4 returnees, and 4 transfers in from this last cycle. Won the national title. Balanced. A balanced roster that cares about one another. And Johnson came in, though, had 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 10 rebounds, and he had a couple of blocks. Mara only had 8 points and never had a free throw shot. He missed some bunnies early that I thought he should have been assertive with. Just, you got down low, you're close to the rim, just turn and dunk it. Instead, he tried to bunny stuff up. They didn't go in. He's got to come back to Michigan, don't he? Just to refine himself and win another national title? I think so. Held to only 4 rebounds, too. At his size, he's got work to do. Come back. Trey McKinney had 9 points and 8 rebounds off the bench as a freshman. So, nobody really played great. But they played as a team for Michigan in this game and in every game this season. And the head of the snake survived this one in Elliot Cadeau after being shoved down. And how many times was he on the floor? The guy will get in the way. Never gets a call, but he gets right back up anyway. Keeps it all to himself. He played amazing. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and he made 8 out of 9 free throws in this game. So, and Gale played great defense for Michigan as always and had 4 amazing points in this game. They say guard play wins for national championships, and they were right. Michigan had guard play. No one thought that they did, but we proved all them haters wrong too. For Connecticut, Caravan had 17 points, seeking his 3rd national championship. Connecticut was 6-0 in the championship game. Michigan handed them their first loss in this one. Terrace Reed, a former Michigan player, only had 13 points in this one. He did have 14 rebounds, though, so he's a beast. So, in the national championship game versus 1 seed Michigan and 2 seed Connecticut, where Michigan was favored by 6.5 points, they only won by 6 points. That's what I'm saying. I think the refs kept this closer than it needed to be so that the Connecticut could cover the line, but Michigan could win it. I don't know. It seemed that way the whole game because Johnson had a layup right off the bat for Michigan. Well, not right off the bat. There were bunnies missed right off the bat. Johnson made the first field goal of the game for Michigan. And then Reed hit a hook shot to even it up. Cadeau hit a layup, and then Cadeau baited a 3-point foul. He said, I'm going to go up. The ball was low. Connecticut's hand was over his arms. Cadeau reached his arms up into the Connecticut player. It was called for a 3. And Cadeau made all 3 free throws. Hey, it's a foul. So, Ball then hit a jumper for Connecticut. Johnson had an offensive putback. Gale had a blocked shot for Michigan. It was 9-4 Michigan at 15:41 left. Connecticut then was called for a shot clock violation as Michigan's defense started off strong. Then there was a bullshit foul call on the Axel, and Ball hit a 3 on the ensuing possession. Cadeau then beat the shot clock with a reverse layup as he was fouled. And it was Demery's second foul already. Cadeau missed that free throw. It would be Michigan's only one until Gale missed 2 at the very end. They went on a string of free throws that they made that won this game. A 10-second call on Connecticut then gave Michigan the ball. It was missed at this point. We got one later. No, we didn't. We didn't get one later. This is the one we should have got. But it was an offensive foul anyway on Connecticut. Michigan got the ball back anyway. Mara then got the ball down low again early. And he missed again because of these bunny shots instead of going up strong and dunking it. Twice he did that early. He wouldn't have a dunk until an alley-oop later in the game, which is par for the course at Michigan. It ended up happening. Caravan made a 3 for Connecticut. It was 11-10 Michigan at the 11:57 mark. So this was a defensive battle early. Ross hit 1 out of 2 free throws to tie the game. Johnson hit a layup for Michigan. Smith hit a jumper. Caravan hit a 3. But then Johnson had an offensive putback, and Smith traveled on the way to a layup, but it was not called, and he was allowed that layup. Then Mara blocked a shot on one end and laid it in on the other end, and they blew a whistle after that for no apparent reason other than to get a TV timeout at 7 minutes left in the first half. There was so much action. They didn't call anything at that whole time, and all of a sudden there was a discrepancy on whether the ball hit the rim or not, and if Connecticut got more time. It stopped play at 7 minutes left. They did give Connecticut more time, and it was 18-17 at that moment. Connecticut had the lead. Burnett hit 2 free throws, though, out of that later. And then Cadeau picked up his second foul, and Caravan hit 2 free throws of his own. Then Axel Lendenberg hit 2 free throws. Mullins, the 3-point specialist, the one that destroyed Duke in the last second of that game, hit a 3. He was kind of quiet. Michigan's defense did what they needed to do, and the offense did just enough. Gale hit 2 free throws. Then there was a goaltending call on Mara, which, it was probably on its way down, but still it didn't go in. It was 25-23 Connecticut at 3:58 left in the first half, and Connecticut had made 4 threes, and Michigan was 0 for 7, and they were only down 2 points. It was closer than it needed to be. Mullins then blocked Gale. He had a nice block, proving that he's more than a 3-point player. Caravan then hooked and held. Mara could have pulled his arm out of socket. It was a flagrant one. It was definitely a concerning moment. Johnson then hit 2 free throws. Yeah, it was Morris Johnson. He hit the 2 free throws. And Johnson's like, what the hell? And the refs acknowledged that. Lindenberg got the ball down low finally. Finally, he stopped jacking up threes, and we found a way to get him the ball down low, pass over the defense to Lindenberg, and he'll just lay it in, and that's what he did. It was beautiful. And Mara then finally finished at the rim, and Michigan had a 6-0 run. And Connecticut called a timeout at 2:24 left in the first half. It was 29-25 Michigan. The timeout led to a ball 3 for Connecticut. One of the balls hit a 3. Mara, though, had an amazing gathering and put it in for Michigan at the rim. And Gale then had a putback jam. That was special. Reed then missed 1 out of 2 free throws at 2.6 seconds left in the half. The ball don't lie, bitch. It was a false foul. And then Cadeau was fouled on that half-court shot. I'm telling you, he was. It was 33-29 Michigan at halftime, 4-point lead. They had the lead, and yet they were 0 for 8 from 3, and were 37% field goal percentage overall. Well, Connecticut was 5 of 15 from 3, 33%. Rebounds were even, 21-20. The second half started, and Burnett Hill got to the line and made 2 free throws. Reed then had an offensive putback for Connecticut. There were a few turnovers back and forth to start this second half, but Elliot Cadeau, with some determination, went at them and fought through contact and laid one in. And he got a foul again. It's the second time he did that. He made the foul shot this time, though. He did not miss. Gale then had another block for Michigan on the other end, but Mullins, they got the ball back. Mullins had a layup. Yaxel then had a layup and one. And it was 40-33 Michigan at 15-16 left in the entire game. Yaxel made the free throw after being fouled and won. Smith answered with a layup, but Trey McKinney at this point just felt a jumper. Broke the guy down, drove in, bounced back, turnaround jumper. He felt it. It was an unbelievable play by the freshman. Caravan then had a tip-in, rebound, but Cadeau answered with a layup, and then Cadeau drilled a 3. And it was Michigan's first 3 of the entire night. And I screamed like a girl. Everyone was here earlier. I did a live reaction on camera that I can't show you guys, because everyone that was here for the game that I had to wait to leave to do my video didn't want to be on YouTube. They don't want to be on YouTube. So that was a bummer. But their loss. This was a hell of a game. After Michigan hit their first 3, UConn had to call a timeout. Michigan was up 11 points. 48-37 with 12:47 left. Out of that timeout, there was another bullshit call on Michigan that gave Ross 2 free throws. Then Cheddar was fouled. No call. No call on that. And then Mullins traveled, but no call on that either. It was 48-39 at 11:33 left. Reed hit a hook shot out of the under 12 TV timeout. The ref got taken out on the end line, and it was Connecticut's player's fault. We had the ball. Connecticut's player was trying to rip it away and just laid out the official on the end line. I'm sorry, my dad said. My dad was there and said, oh, he finally got what he deserved. I'm not that harsh and cruel, but I thought it was funny as hell. It was kind of what's the word? Surreal, needed. I don't know. That guy got laid out. But Mara found a way. They played physical for a long time, and Mara found a way out of a triple team and found Morez Johnson. And then, hey, he had the putback jam for Michigan. Caravan had a layup. Yaxel kept shooting threes and needed to stop at this point. Demery had a layup on the other end. But Mara had that alley-oop jam that I was talking about, and it's not a Michigan game without one of those. It was 52-45 Michigan at 7:16 left in this game. McKinney hit 2 out of 2 free throws out of that after going to the line on a 1-and-1 by, mind you. We made all our 1-and-1s. We made all the free throws when we needed to, and that was the difference. Ball then got his 4th foul at 6:30 left in this game. Caravan missed 2 free throws for Connecticut. Yaxel hit a layup. Mullins made a 3 for Connecticut, and they called a timeout at 5:21. It was 56-48 Michigan. Then Yaxel got his own tip in to put Michigan up double digits again, but Mullen hit a 3 for Connecticut. But then Yaxel hit 2 out of 2 free throws, and Michigan was up 9 at 3:48 left in this game, 60-51. Reed hit 2 free throws, and then they finally called Connecticut for knocking down Cadeau. The poor guy, the littlest guy on the court, beat up all game. And Cadeau made 2 more free throws. Then Caravan hit a 3. They would not go away. McKinney answered with a 3 for Michigan, his 1-3 of the game. It was a crucial time. The freshman answered. Connecticut then Michigan called a timeout. I thought Connecticut did, but Michigan actually did. Why? Why would you do that after you hit a 3? Because then Reed got to the line and hit 2 free throws, and they got back in the game. But then Demery fouled out with 1:07 left, and Cadeau hit the front end of a 1-and-1 and made the second one. But then Caravan hit 2 free throws. Then Ball banked in a Hail Mary prayer from 3 to make it a 4-point game again with 37 seconds left. And I was saying to everybody here, just got to make our free throws. All we have to do is get the rebound and make our free throws the rest of this game, and we will win. Gale missed the second and third free throw for Michigan all game. And I thought, uh-oh. But then Connecticut appealed a elbow, which wasn't even close. They were grasping at straws at that point, and they lost a timeout because of that. And Gale then hit 2 free throws to cap a 69-63 national championship win for Michigan. First one since 1989. First one in my lifetime. I was born in 90, so they won the year before I was born. I finally saw one, and so did all of you. I'm so proud, so happy, so exuberant, that flustered, all the above. Michigan did what they set out to do, and can they do it again now? 5 stars are committing. Dusty May, who's going to be back for the team next year? But hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. This team right here now won a national championship. They did that. I don't know what else to say other than that. National champs. Everyone came together. All the sum of the parts fit. And we're bringing the banner home. And no one can stop it from being hung in the rafters. They did it legally, fairly. Hockey's next, everybody. If you haven't paid attention to Michigan athletics, hockey's next, and then it's football season, and you're all terrified of Kyle Whittingham too. But for tonight, national champs. Thank you, Dusty May. Thank you, Yaxel Landenborg, for staying, coming back. Morris Johnson Jr., Elliot Cadeau, Adai Mara, Roddy Gill, Namari Burnett, Will Cheddar, many others. Trey McKinney. The list goes on and on. LJ Cason. We wouldn't have won that Northwestern game if it wasn't for you, buddy. You helped. Everybody helped. It was a team effort. The team. And we did it. Woo! That was a weak woo. Woo! I'm still sick. I can't do it, but I tried to do a Ric Flair. Go Blue, baby. Let's go.